The latest report on foreign aid, formerly known as official development assistance, is just out for the year 2013, and it has some really interesting nuggets of information. For example, overall foreign aid has increased by 6%. That's a very significant increase for the first time in 3 years. But, hear this, it's gone down by nearly 6% in sub-Saharan Africa. So how in the world do you have an increase in foreign aid overall and a decrease in the most beleaguered and impoverished part of the planet? Well, I'll tell you how. You start giving more and more money to so-called middle-income countries. Which countries? China, India, Pakistan, Brazil, Chile, Mexico. Yes, all of these countries have tremendous pockets of poverty, but they also have an equally tremendous concentration of wealth at the top, which, were they to eliminate corruption and provide adequate taxation, they would have sufficient resources for the entire country. Now, in truth, when you look carefully at the chronicle of countries which are dealt with in this report, you see, again, further fascinating nuggets. There are, of course, the champions. Norway, Denmark, Sweden, the Nordics are always virtuous. They always give more than the target, which is 0.7% of gross national product established back in 1970. And they're joined by Luxembourg. One of the virtuous countries fell off the roll call. Holland, for the first time in 40 years, dropped below the target. But one of the G8 countries, for the first time ever, joined the chronicle of the virtuous, the United Kingdom, under David Cameron and a conservative government implementing Labour government policy. Bravo! And then there are the recalcitrants. Who are they? Well, Portugal, France, and Canada. Canada's gone down by more than 10% year over year. I am embarrassed, humiliated, mortified to be a citizen of a country whose cabinet consists of such begrudging, stingy, insensitive reprobates. Do we need the money? We sure do. Take a look at the Central African Republic, where the United Nations Secretary General has just asked for an additional 12,000 troops to prevent a genocide. That will require a lot of money. Or the appeal which just went out this week for the Southern Sudan, needing an additional hundreds of millions of dollars to deal with an imminent famine over the next 60 days unless food can be found. Or, in the case of this last week, a piercing alarm from the World Health Organization about vector-borne diseases, which now put more than 1 billion people annually at risk and over 1 million deaths from malaria, dengue fever, yellow fever, Lyme disease. To think that countries are cutting back on foreign aid, it's contemptible. In fact, I can't stand it anymore. I've got to take a week off, so that's what I'm doing. I'll see you a week from now. But that was last week. I'm Stephen Lewis.